All right, so here's the rules to the dice game I want to play with you guys tomorrow. The game is called 10,000, and there's a score sheet here underneath so you can see what scores. And I'm also going to keep track of 3 fake player scores: player 1, player 2, player 3. So to play this game, you don't need a ton. You need 6 dice. So I'll bring the dice tomorrow so you can play. But if you like this game and you want to play it later, you just need to go to the dollar store or get a bunch of games together, like board games you have, and get 6 dice. So the idea is you roll the dice, and as things score, you have to set them aside. So you're trying to get a larger score with your hand, but you have, as you take away the dice that score, you have a lower chance of kind of making that score bigger. The main things that are going to score, if you roll any ones, those are going to count for 100. Some people have said this game is similar to Yahtzee, so if you know Yahtzee, you might catch on more quickly, but you don't need to. If you roll a 5, those are worth 50 points. The other ways to score to get triples, you could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like a run or a straight. You could have 3 different pairs, or you could have quadruples. If you get 4 of any kind, those are worth quite a few points. The goal of the game is to get to 10,000 the fastest, and there's also an interesting kind of trade-off mechanism as one turn and leads into the other. So what I'm going to do is I'll just I'm going to do some mock hands, keep score, and kind of talk as I'm going through. So I'll start by rolling all 5 dice. I'll be player 1 first. Okay, so looking at what scores here, it's actually not too bad. We got 1, 2. Oh, we almost have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's actually really fun with this game because you roll a lot. Everybody rolls a lot through the course of this game, and when something really rare happens, it's pretty exciting. And the way the turnaround works in between turns, someone else getting something good might mean something great for you too. For this one, I've got 200 points. 250. 2 ones is 2 times 100. That's 200, and then 5 is a 50. So now what I could do is I could choose to bank this 250, record 250 as my score, and pass things on to the next player. Or I can risk this to try to get a better score. 250 isn't a huge score, especially when you're trying to get to 10,000. So I'm just going to say I'm going to risk this. I'm going to roll the next 3. Hopefully I need something to score. If I don't get any dice that score this time, then my turn is over and I don't get any points. So we roll here. I did get a 1. So I'm going to put that over there. So that's now 350. And I have 2 dice left. And I'm actually going to choose to stop there. In my head, I'm thinking that there's not a ton of a chance for me to score any more points with just these 2 dice. I can't get any of the triples anymore. I'm really just banking on a 1 or a 5 showing up. So I'm going to say I'm going to stop. So I'm going to write down 350 as my first score. And then I'm going to pass that over to player 2. So this is the interesting part. That 350 banked score is now a starting place for player 2. They can choose to roll the 2 remaining dice, the risk that the other player didn't want to take. They can choose to roll on that, or they can choose to grab all 5 dice and start again. If someone was passing you like a score like of 3,000 or 1,500 because they got one of these larger totals, then it's usually worth risking, even if it's 1 dice left or 1 die left, to try to continue on that total. And that's why when someone gets something really rare and something exciting happens, that's how it can kind of come back to you. So it's pretty fun when you get to roll on someone's total. So if I were to roll these 2 and say both of these score, I get a 1 and a 5, then not only would I add this to the score, it would be 350 plus 150 is 500. I would also get to grab all 5 dice, roll again, and continue. And that's a really good place to be. 500 as a starting place, and rolling all 5 dice can leave open some pretty big scores. So I'm going to do that. Let's say, I'm not going to roll here just to leave it up to chance. Let's say I rolled and I got a 1 and a 5. So I've got 500, and I'm going to grab all 5 dice to roll again. Ooh, so I got 3 ones here. Oh, that was a 1, right? We got 3 ones here, so that's 1,000. So So that's on top, so 1,000 is there. That's on top of the 500 that was just banked. So now I have 1,500. There's 3 dice left. You might be tempted to roll. The odds aren't too bad, of getting at least a 1 or a 5 on 3 dice. But I'm going to stop here and we'll say that player 2 gets 1,500. Now player 3 gets to choose. Do I want to roll all 6? Or do I want to grab just the last 3 and try and do it? So 1,500 is a pretty good score. So I would risk this. So I'll roll here. We get a 5. So now we'll put that off to the side. So it's 1,550. There's 2 dice left. I'm actually not going to risk anything. I'm going to bank that score. So player 3 now has 1,550. Back to player 1. The odds of getting a 1 or a 5 on 2 dice still aren't that bad, right? On 1 dice, the odds are 2 out of 6 of getting a 1 or a 5, and then you get another dice for 2 out of 5. So let's do this. Let's roll the first one. Oops, on the table. First one, we got a 1, so automatically I get the score, and then a 3. So I'm going to bring this 1 over. We were at a total of 1,550. So now I get to add in 1,650. So now my current total is going to be 2,350 plus 1,650. Now we're going to pass that to player 2. So it came all the way back to player 2. I'm going to choose to roll this. So the odds here again are basically 1 over 3, because that's what 2 over 6 works out to be. 33% chance. We'll see what happens. 4. Okay, so that's now a bust. No score there, so player 2 stays at 1,500. Now player 3 would start again with all 6 dice. Sorry, I think I said 5 earlier in the video. All 6 dice. And roll. Ooh, we get another triple 1. That's pretty rare. So it's automatically now at 1,000. Player 3, let's say, is risky. They're trying to catch up to player 1, so they're going to roll again. That might be a good idea, might not be. Ooh, we got 150 more. So it's worth noting that these 3 ones that made 1,000, these 3 ones that made 1,000, they don't count with this one to jump into the 4 ones, which would have been 2,000 points. The score is separate. So it's 1,000 from that first roll plus 150 more. So that's 1,150. So I would bank here. So 1,150. Let's just do a little math here. 50, that's 6. So 7, 2, 7, 2,700. Now for player 1, they can choose to roll in this or not. Let's say yes. 6. So that one is a bust. So their score doesn't budge. They're still at 2,000. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how this game works. Again, this is a race to 10,000. Each game doesn't necessarily take too long, but each game is always a little bit different. And you can always keep score a different way. You can use your calculator to help with the addition. But really, it's all about a little bit of a risk-reward decision. When do you want to stop? When do you think you can get a little bit more? When do you think it's worth rolling on someone else's total? Those are the main ideas, and hopefully you like this game and have a lot of fun tomorrow. See you tomorrow.